Welcome to DataPencil. Hello everyone, welcome back to our SQL plus AI course. I hope you all are doing well. So for those who are new to this channel, let me introduce a bit about this AI SQL course. This course is absolutely free to join. After completing, you will get your certificate. So to join this course, you will simply have to WhatsApp us on the number which is shown on the screen. You can also join our WhatsApp channel that you are seeing here. All important updates, announcements and batch related information are shared there regularly. Do subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any update about upcoming batches and sessions. If you are active on LinkedIn, you can also follow Kalyani Bhatnagar and DataPencil page. I regularly post SQL based polls there which help you to practice and strengthen your SQL thinking on a daily basis. Now guys, welcome to module 10. This module is a very special because concepts that we are going to learn today are powerful one, but only when it is called that when we learn something at right time. So this is the right time to learn these concepts. So today we are going to cover normalization. Okay, we are going to cover normalization. This is a very important topic because normalization is the topic that trainer included at the very beginning, but I thought to introduce it at this moment because at the very beginning what happened guys, when you see these terms you might have felt confusing, okay, by seeing these terms. Now when you will learn about what is normalization, it will be a super easiest thing for you to learn. At this stage you know majority of the concepts and now you can connect easily with this normalization term. So let's quickly discuss our normalization part and after that we will cover all the functions. So firstly, what is normalization? Here we have seen the table. This is one big table. You remember it was introduced in our first module, the big table. Then we broke this table into different small tables. Okay, so this thing where we are breaking a big table into several small tables, this simple process is called normalization. Okay, so you can see that normalization means arranging our tables in a clean and proper way so that the data is not repeated and it is not confusing. Now the thing to discuss here is the rules of normalization. There are 3 rules that has to be followed while arranging tables. So what are those 3 rules? So first rule is called as 1NF. The first rule is called 1NF. The second rule is called 2NF. And the third rule is called 3NF. Okay, so normalization means simply arrange the big table in several small tables. While arranging this, we have to follow these rules. So first rule, what it says, this rule says that a column cannot contain multiple values. Like if there is a column of a student name, then this column cannot contain multiple students. Ria and Asha, 2 names cannot be here. If this column contains city, then there cannot be 2 values at a single row. We cannot write here Pune and Kanpur. Okay, we cannot mention 2 cities or 3 cities or 4 cities together. In a column, there can be only 1 single value in a particular row, right? This is our first NF. NF, what is the full form of this NF? It is normalization form. Okay, normalization form. So first normalization form we have discussed. In second normalization form, what happened? To understand this thing, we need to understand one concept called composite key. Till now we have learned what is primary key and what is secondary key. Now let's firstly learn what is composite key. In primary key, what I have seen that primary key is the key or a column that uniquely identifies each record in a table. It is a unique identification basically. Okay, 101, 102, it is a unique identification of each row. This is a primary key. Foreign key, if this same key, which is a primary key, okay, suppose this is a student ID. Okay, if this student ID, if this primary key is present in other table, then this same thing in this table we called as foreign key. Okay, because we are sending our primary key to some other table. Okay, just go visit there and do your purpose, do your sole purpose, and then come back. So there is nothing called come back. So basically we send this primary key to other table. When we send our primary key to other table, then this other table call this as a foreign key, that you are a foreigner for us, you are a foreign key for us, right? Now the third thing is composite key. So in composite key, what happened? When there are two columns of primary key, suppose first is order ID and second is item ID. Okay, when there is a case that single key or single primary key is not enough to uniquely identify the row, when single key is not enough, then we take two columns together. Okay, this is a primary key, this is also a primary key. When we combine these two keys, okay, then from this combination we are able to uniquely identify a row. Such combination is called composite key. Okay, so what you can say, when a single column cannot uniquely identify a row, we combine two or more columns. When we combine them, then this makes our what? Composite key. Okay, composite key is also a primary key. Now let's come back to our rules that were 2NF and 3NF. In 2NF, what happens? If there is a table containing composite key, okay, if there is a table containing composite key, suppose it is a composite key, and these are the other columns. Okay, so the rule is this, that all these columns must entirely depend on these composite key. If these columns are depend on only any one key, not on both the keys, then this rule is simply not following. Now see this with an example. Suppose we have order ID, product ID, then quantity, and then product name. Okay, these are four columns that we have in a table, and these two columns are composite key. And these columns are dependent on these other columns. These columns are dependent on composite keys, right? So let's check one by one. As we can see here that our quantity is dependent on order ID and the product ID. How? Why it is dependent? Because quantity value depends on product ID and the order ID. But product name is not entirely dependent on these two. It depends only on product ID, right? Here quantity is decided by the combination of order ID and product ID. So it depends on the full composite key. But product name is not decided by order ID and product ID. It's simply decided by the product ID alone. Okay, so this table is not following 2NF. 2NF says that the remaining columns, those columns which are not composite key, so the remaining columns must be entirely dependent on the composite key. So here, how can we rectify this? We have to create a table where there will be order ID, okay, product ID and the quantity, and one more table we will create where there will be product ID and product name only. So these tables are following the 2NF rule. And after checking the 2NF rule, okay, 3NF rule says that non-key columns should not depend on each other. They can depend on primary key. If there is composite key, then they can depend on composite key, but they cannot depend on each other. Okay, this is 3NF rule. So this was the important concept needed to understand, where we have seen the theory of composite key as well as the normalization and the rules of normalization, which is first NF, 2NF, 3NF. In first NF, a column cannot contain two values, like in a single row, city cannot be Jaipur and Kanpur. In 2NF, what happened? In 2NF, the non-key columns should be entirely dependent on the composite key. Okay, they should be entirely dependent on the composite key. And in 3NF, it is about non-key columns. So non-key columns cannot depend on each other. If this is following, then we are violating the 3NF rule. This is important from interview perspective as well. So it was necessary to explain this. And now I hope you are getting it. Now let's understand some functions. Okay, we have some functions in our SQL, and to understand the concept of functions, we need to open my SQL workbench. Okay, so firstly, let's create the database. So I am creating a database named functions, because in this database I am going to do all the functions queries. Now let's write use functions, and once you will refresh, you will see you are now in this functions database. Now let's create all tables. So here we have three tables: the customer table, orders table, and the payments table. Okay, I will provide this code to you as well. And after running it, you will see our three tables are created. Now insert the values quickly. These values I have designed specifically so that I can, make you understand the functions. And I'm pasting all the values. Now let's run all of them. Okay, after running and refreshing, here our tables are ready. So we have payments table. Here you can see some null values also. Okay, this is orders table, and this is customers table. Here there are phone number, this is null. Okay, email is null, right? Now let's check our functions one by one. So first of all, there are aggregate functions, but aggregate functions I'm not going to explain because this thing we have already learned, okay, in a detailed manner. So the next one is maths functions, right? Maths function, or you can say numerical function, numeric functions. Now let's see the functions. Okay, now we will see all numeric functions one by one. So first one is round function. What this round function does, it basically gives the round value. Suppose the value is in decimal. So if you want the result up to 2 decimal, then it will provide it. Suppose our value is something 3.534567, and you want to round it after 2 decimal, till 2 decimal. Okay, so your answer will be, after applying round function, will be 0.45. This will be your answer. Suppose you don't want the decimal value, you want to round the value just as a whole number only. Okay, so this will be your result. Now let's see a case, and this query is saying that you have to round average order value. You have to round average order value. So here in this you can see the total amount it is written, right? So for the average values, what we will do, we will firstly find the average of this total amount, right? So we will firstly find the average of total amount. And then after finding this thing, we will apply round function on this. So put it inside a parenthesis and write here round. Now comma 2. So this 2 means the result should be, after decimal, it should be till 2 digits only. And then we can give it alias name. So rounded average it is from orders table. Okay, now once you will run it, you will see you have the rounded average and your result is till 2 decimal digits. Okay, suppose if you have written here 1, so your answer will be this 5. Suppose you have written here 0, so your answer will be this. Okay, means we don't want any decimal digit. Okay, if you won't write here anything, then what will happen? it means by default you are getting a whole number, no decimal value. Okay, now the second function is ceiling. This is very important one. So what it does, suppose there is a number which is 4.6. okay, so what is the next whole number after 4.6? What will be a next whole number? It will be 5, right? Let's take one more example. Suppose 0.67. What is the next whole number after this? So it will be 5556, right? This will be the whole number. Suppose we take another example, 45.8. so just after this, what whole number will come? So it will be 46. So ceiling means it will take you to the next whole number, the after one. Now let's understand it with the example. So we want round order amount on upper side. Okay, so I'm writing here up. So for this we will write select. You can select order ID for this, and you can select the total amount, but we want this total amount as a whole number, but it should be at the upper side. Okay, so here we will write ceiling. But you want this total amount as a whole number on the whatever be the next whole number. So here put it inside a parenthesis and apply a function on this, which is ceiling, C-E-I-L-I-N-G. Now simple from orders. So once you will run it, so this is the ceiling, means total amount in a whole number terms. Here you can see the order whose ID is 101. The total amount is what? 12,000. Okay, let's see what is our result. So it is 12,001. Okay, the second one is already round whole number. The third one is 800.75. So it should be 801. Yes, it is 801. Okay, I hope it's clear. Now come to the next function, and this is a floor function. Floor function. So what it does, it is used for the cases where there is a need to round a number but at the downside, okay, down to the nearest whole number. Hey, it means it is just opposite of the ceiling. Suppose your number is 4.6. so after applying floor function, your answer will be 4. If the number is 55.8, so after applying floor, your answer will be 55. Okay, let's see a query. So it is asking to get a round order amount but the downside. So how can you round it? You will simply write this thing. Let's copy it and paste it here, and instead of ceiling we can simply write here floor. Okay, now when you will run it, now here all the values are just before the number. So suppose for 101 the total amount is 12,000.50. So the answer we get is 12,000, the before nearest. Ceiling means the after nearest. Okay, now the next one is ABS. ABS means absolute value. Okay, what is absolute value? ABS means absolute value. Suppose your answer is coming in a negative term, so it will convert it to a positive value. So if you have to find, suppose your query is to find the absolute value of difference between 5,000 and order amount. Okay, how will you write? You will simply write select order ID, comma, then you will apply the absolute function on which? On the total amount minus 5,000. Okay, as difference you can write. Okay, now from orders table, this is it. When you will run it, whatever value you have, it will be in the positive form. If you remove this absolute, okay, then the value that you will have will be negative as well. See, it is minus 500, it is minus this one. Once you apply absolute, the values will be in a positive number. So it's converted, see, it is now plus 4199. Okay, this is the use of absolute. Now, what is mod function? So you can learn this mod as remainder. Mod means remainder. Mod means remainder. It means if there is a number, suppose you have to divide this 10 by 3. So your answer should be whatever. Okay, but the remainder here is 1, right? So this will be your answer. Okay, now how can you do it? So if your query is saying to find the remainder when amount is divided by 1000. So what you will do, you will select, let me make it copy. Let me copy this. Okay, so here now this time you have to divide this, okay, with the 1000. So here you will apply mod function, and here it will be a total amount, then comma, you have to put a comma, and then the number by which you want to divide this. So total amount divided by 1000, and then take a mod as remainder. Now when you will run it, these are the remainder only. Okay, these are the remainder values. Now the next one is, and if you want to see the quotient here, okay, instead of remainder, if you want to see the quotient, then what you will do? Then for this case, you will simply write here total amount, okay, and then divide it with the number that you want to divide it. And here you will apply floor because floor does what? It gives the round of value just before the number. If suppose the answer of this thing is 4.5, so it will give you 4, which is a quotient, okay, which is a quotient. So for the quotient, if you want the quotient as a result, for that you will apply floor function, and inside use this division. So here this is your quotient, 12, 4 and all these. Okay, now the next one we will talk about the string functions, whatever string functions we have. So the first one is the upper string function, and the lower string function. Now the query is saying to get the customer name in uppercase, right? How can you do? You will select your column. Suppose here it is first name, so let's select first name firstly, first name, and then we apply upper function on this column. So when you will write upper and give the name as name upper from customers table. Okay, so let's run it. Here you will see your names, first name is in absolute upper, double A, NYA, everything is in caps letter, right? Now if you want to lower it, so you will simply write here lower function. Lower, okay, and let's run it. So here everything is in lowercase. Now the next string function is the length. What this function does, it will basically count the alphabets, okay, count the characters. If there is a name Ria, so what is the length of this name? It is 4. If there is written Ria space, okay, then what is the length? So it is then 5. If it is written Ria space Sharma, so now what is the length? So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The length is 11, right? Now let's see the example. We have to find the length of customer first name. Okay, how can we find? We will simply write this, and instead of here we will write the length function. Now when you will run it, here length gth. Now when you will run it, here it will be the length. Okay, so first name 555, here you can see it is 5, it is 5, correct. Now come to our next one. So next one is concat. Concat is my favorite one. I just love this name, concat, basically. So what concat does, suppose we want this first name and last name, we want to combine it. Okay, we want to see them as a full name. Ananya Sharma Rohan Mehta. For such case, we will use the concat. See how? So let's copy this code, and here we will simply write. Here we will write concat, apply this concat on the first name. Okay, this is the first thing that we want to concat. We want to combine with the last name, right? But if we will concat like this, see, then what will happen? As full name. And let's run it. So we will have this thing. Okay, so if you will write it like this, that you want to concat first name and last name, so your result will be like this, Ananya Sharma. There is no space between them. If we want to add any extra thing or a space between them, so for this space, after this comma, you will have to apply inverted commas with a space. Now this thing means we are putting a space also in between first name and the last name. Now run it again, and here now you can see there is a space, Ananya space Sharma. Okay. Now there are some functions. Okay, so another function is substring. Now what this substring does? So basically it will fetch the exact letters that you want. Suppose you want to fetch only starting 3 letters from the Ananya. Okay, Anya. So after applying substring, your output will be AAN, right? So see what I'm saying and how can we do it? We have to write select substring. We want to fetch the characters from the first name, okay, and 1, 3. 1 means start from the first position, first letter, end, and travel till the third letter. Okay, so let's see what our result will be. As short name, you can give short name from customers. When you will run it, so here it is AAN. Okay, starts from the first letter and ended with the third one. So after third letter it will end. Now when you will write here, suppose 6 or 1 only, then what it will be? Only the initial letter. Okay, and if you won't write anything, then what will happen? So then nothing will happen. By default it will take the full name. Okay, by default it will take you to the last. Now the next is trim. So trim does what? It basically removes the spaces, okay, the extra spaces which are at the beginning or at the end of the text. Okay, it won't remove the middle one space. So suppose there is a name written 2 space and then the name, then again 2 space or 3 space. So if you will apply this trim function on this text, then your result will be only DataPencil, no space. Okay, so your query is you have to remove extra spaces from city names if there is any. So you will write select and then apply the trim function on city column. Okay, as plain city we can say without any space from customers table. This is it, and once you will run it, whatever result you will get, there is no space before and after. Now the next one is replace. Replace function does what? It will replace your letter with whatever result, with whatever text you want to replace it with. So you will write here select replace. Okay, suppose you want to replace the first name A, comma @ from customers. Okay, and let's run it. So what it yes, so what it does, so wherever it will find A, it will replace it with the @ right? So this is the function of replace. Now next one is left and right. So left function is used when you want to fetch the first n characters or first 4 characters from the left, and right is when you want to fetch the first 3 or 4 or 5 or n characters from the right. Okay, how can you do? So here you will have to write select and then the first name. After that 1. It means you want to fetch the 1 character from the left. If here it is written 2 or 3, it means you want to fetch the first 3 characters from the left, right? So let's write here from customers table. Now let's run it. Okay, I haven't applied left. I haven't written left here. Yeah, left. Now run it. And here you can see we have the starting 3 letters from the left. Or if you want to fetch the right letters, right. So for this you will have to simply apply right, and here the last 3 letters are here. Okay. So the last 3 letters are NYAHAN. Fine. Now come to our date and time function, and this is the important one. So first one is the current date. If you have to find the current date, then what you will do, you will apply current date functions. So let's write select current date. Okay, and when you will run simple this, so your current date is this. Now if you want to see the year, okay, or the month, if you want to extract year or month from the date, so you will simply write select, okay, what you want to fetch. You want to fetch year from order date column, okay, from orders. So this will give you the year. See, these are the years. Here is the orders table and here it is order date. So from this date it will extract the year thing. Now if you want to fetch the month, so you will have to write here month. We want to apply month function on the order date column so that we can get months. Okay. Now you want to fetch the day name. What are the day name of days? Okay, so for that let's copy this and paste it here, and here there is one function called day name function. Day name, this is it. You want to apply this day name function on this order date. So here you have your day's name. So Friday, it was Sunday, it was Wednesday, likewise. Okay. Now suppose you want to calculate a difference, like how many days ago order was placed. So what is the today's date and what was the ordered date, right? If when you will calculate the difference between these 2 days, you will get your result. So to get the difference between the dates, we will apply date different function. Okay, and for this we will simply write date diff. And at the first we have to provide our current date, or from whatever date we want to create a difference. Then the earlier date, okay, We want to take the difference between these two dates. That's it. As you can say days old, right, from orders table. Now let's run it. And here it is your difference in front of you. So first order is 388 days old. Second order is 386 days old. Okay. So by using date difference, we can simply find the difference between any two dates. Now, if you want to add any date, suppose today is the order placing date, and you want to, tell the approx delivery date, which is in most the cases 7 days from placing the order. So you want to give a expected delivery date to your customer. So if order placing date is 2nd of Feb, then delivery date will be 9th of Feb, right? So you want to give this date to your customer. How can you do? You will simply add 7 days to this date. Okay, you will simply add 7 days to this date. So how can we do it? We will simply use date add function, where we will add some days to our desired or required date, where we will add days to a particular date, right? So for this, let's write select date add, and we want to add this on our order date column. Okay, and interval should be 7 days. This is a way of writing. We have to write it like this: interval 7 days. Okay, suppose this is a delivery date, so keep it as a delivery date from orders table. This is it. Now once you will run it, it is day only. Now when you will run it, this is the expected delivery date. Okay. Now suppose you want to find out a date which is a few days ago. Okay, suppose today order placing date is 2nd of Feb. Okay, and you want to find the date. What should be the date just 1 month before this? What should be the date just 1 month before 2 Feb? So you want to find the interval of 1 month. So just 1 month, it should be 1st of January, something 2nd of January, something like this. So see what happened once we apply date sub function on order date, okay, and interval 1 month from orders table. So this is our result, right? Now let's check what is our order date for this. So here it is 2025 10th of January. Okay, it is 10th of January, and in the output you have 10th of December. So what date you have received as a result? Just 1 month before, because we have given here interval of 1 month. Now if you gave the interval of suppose 3 days and then run it, again I am writing days, 3 days, day, and then when you will run it, so it is 7th of January and the order date is 10th of January, right? Exact 3 days difference here we have. Now next one is null. How can you handle null? So these are called null handling functions. So first one is null. In null handling functions, the first one is null. So the query is you have to find the customers with missing phone number, okay, who have missing phone numbers, means where there is written null. So you will write select all from customers where phone is null. Simple. And we have already done this earlier as well, but as I am explaining all the functions, so it is necessary to explain this part. So here you have all those rows where phone number is null. Okay. The second one is if null. If null does what? It will replace the null value with a text. What it will do? It will replace the null values with a particular text, whatever you will give. So suppose you want to replace these nulls values with a not provided value. Okay. So you will write select if null from the phone number column, okay, from the phone column, if it is null, okay, if it is null, then replace it with the not provided. From customers. This is it. So what it is saying, select if the phone number column is null somewhere, then replace it with the not provided. And let's run it. So everywhere you will see there is not provided, not provided, not provided, not provided. And let's give this one alias name as phone status. Now phone status is where it is not given, it is written not provided. Simple. Now the next is coalesce function. Coalesce function, what it does, it will provide us the first not null value. Means it will provide the first available value. Whatever first value is available, that you will get as an output. So suppose your query is saying to show first available contact info. Okay, so we will write select coalesce and then we will write phone, email, no contact. I will explain what I am writing, wait. Okay, from customers. After running it, what you are seeing that what it basically does, firstly it will check the first value, phone. Okay, if it is available, then it will give this value. If suppose at the place of phone it is showing null, then it will move to the email. If email has some value, then it will return the email value. If suppose by chance email is also showing null, then it will simply write no contact. Okay, so now let's come here. What inside the coalesce function is happening, it will check one by one, firstly phone number and then the city. So at the first row, it has seen that, okay, phone number exists, means the phone number is here. So it will simply give this phone number as a result. Now, it will come to the second row. It is seeing that phone number is null. Now it will move to the city column. Email column. Now it will move to the email column. So it has seen that, okay, email is available, so it will return email to us, right? Now come to the row 6th. It will firstly check with the phone number. It is seeing, oh, it is null, so it will move to the email. Email is also null, so that's why then it will return no contact. Okay, if these two are null, then you have to return no contact. We have written this thing. That's why at the end you are seeing it is written no contact. Okay, so these were the functions that are important to discuss, to know. Now our functions are completed. Now tomorrow we will move to our next module, and your today's questions are there in front of you. Just give the answers to them. These are your questions here on the screen. Please give the answer in your own words, because we all know the ChatGPT language, okay? This is SQL plus AI course. It doesn't mean you have to copy ChatGPT thing here, okay? This is your learning phase. You cannot copy anything. Whatever you understood, you have to write it in your own words only. Okay, so try to give the answer in your own words. So see you tomorrow, guys, with the next module, and till then, take care, keep practicing. And there is no exercise for today's module, okay guys? So you just have to revise these functions. That's it. Okay, so take care, keep practicing. Bye bye, see you tomorrow.